Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Andrew Lawrenson, and I've been given the privilege of being asked to provide this celebration of the life of Mrs. Edna Willoughby. Her family and close friends knew her as Ed, so if it's okay with you, I'll use her shortened name for the purposes of this eulogy. Her son Mark tells me that Ed lived life to the full, initially working at what was then British Steel in the accounts office, then later at Northern General. Finally, she worked up to retirement at the local post office. As a pensioner, Ed volunteered as an aide for the witness support programme at Middlesbrough Courts. Stephen tells me because she was nosy and wanted to know everyone's business, though I am reassured that beneath was a genuine desire to help where she could in the plight of others. Susan tells me that Ed met Brian, her husband and father to her 7 children, at a church hall dance and fell for him immediately. Brian, however, initially felt that Ed was too young. Not to be deterred, she waited for him and no doubt worked her charms on young Brian till she was 19, when they finally made a commitment to each other. Their marriage was a grand affair talked about long afterwards, for unusually, back in the days of rationing, they had a dressed wedding card and bridesmaids. Ed and Brian had no less than 7 children together. Susan, Mark, John, Stephen and Charlotte are here with us today. Lily and Sheila are sadly no longer with us. They were a large family. At one point, all 9 of them lived in a 3-bedroom council house. Can you imagine the queue for the bathrooms in the morning? Every year there was a family seaside holiday, usually to Filey or Scarborough. As Ed and Brian got older, they became a great source of mirth and merriment for their teenage children, who likened them to Madame Cholet and Great Uncle Bulgaria from the Wombles. They were always together. There is no doubt that Ed and Brian loved each other deeply and remained utterly devoted to each other throughout their life. Charlotte tells me she enjoyed looking good and was always very well turned out and with beautifully manicured nails and well-styled hair. Ed lived on her own after Brian died. She was a strong, loving and caring woman and a brilliant mum and grandma who held her family at the centre of her world. She was very proud of her 9 grandchildren and knew her first great-grandchild, Susan. She liked to be called Gigi for great-grandma. It is, of course, a great shame she never got to meet her second great-grandchild, but I feel sure she would have welcomed her into the family with the same joy, care and compassion that had become her family way. She was always fond of music and had a great collection of Irish folk music LPs. I've been asked by the family and the children to play a piece of music as a commemoration of her love of Irish music. This is an Irish jig which goes by the name of the Irish Washerwoman. The death of someone who gave as much of herself as Ed did will always be difficult for her close family. With Ed, there is the added element of shock to cope with, as there was no warning that she would die so unexpectedly. At the age of 85, she was still living independently, with help from family and care workers. According to Charlotte, she had a nightly drink of gin and flat lemonade at 6 p.m, then a whiskey and flat lemonade at 9 p.m. This drink was never finished. She was found peacefully in her bed the following morning by her care worker. Now, Ed believed in God and carried her own sense of spirituality, though I understand from John that going to church had never been quite her thing. I hope that today we can rest assured that Ed has moved out of our physical realm and into a world where she's been reunited with Brian, a world where she is with the love of her life, at one with herself and at peace.